Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to go over foundations, the panel, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff that was revealed today. Check out my previous video where I went over all of the stuff that was revealed today in the, upcoming next year panel. As well as make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you share the video around, all that kind of stuff. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers at the moment. We might be able to hit 9,000 by the end of the day if you guys, send some love my way. That's our big goal. We do so much stuff in regards to just covering so much Magic stuff that if you guys could chuck just one subscribe, it would be amazing. Thank you. So let's get started. So Foundations is a set of cards that no matter where you are in your journey, from new players to veterans, there's meant to be stuff in here for you. The boring cards they talked about, they're important for newer players, but they aren't great for veterans. So that's where the other products kind of come in. So they have the beginner box, for example, contains 10 themed jumpstart packs that are designed for beginner play. The first two will be playing with the classic Magic themes of cats and vampires. So you got a whole bunch of cats here where you got, these are what they call boring cards, like the simplistic cards that kind of everyone starts out with. So you got like Savannah Lions, Leonin, Sky Hunter, Prideful Parent, Faladar Savior, and Angelic Edict. Some of these are new, some of them are older reprints and stuff. And then we've got the vampires here: Vampire Interloper, Vampire Spawn, Moment of Craving, Highborn Vampire, and then Untamed Hunger there. So they also said, beyond that, the old starter kits that we had, like, the Bloomburrow one, the Assassin's Creed one, etc., you'd get them and you'd have two decks in them and you're like, oh yeah, this is really great. And then you finish those two decks and it's like, what do I do now? So they made it so that, there's additional stuff beyond that where they've got, the jumpstart style packs within there so you can play more and kind of get a little bit further before you start looking to buy more stuff. So that's what these are for. So these are 5 different ones in here where they all start out with, just a simplistic kind of theme. And then it shows you kind of some synergies and the deck being more than just the greater of its, the deck being greater than all its parts. So, you've got an elf one there that synergizes alongside of your elves, and dragons that synergize with your other dragons, etc. So then we've got the beyond that. Once you get through that, then you've got the starter collection that you can go buy. So that is going to have a whole bunch of like tournament staples. So some really kind of strong, decent cards in it. Some aspirational dreams, which are stuff that's like, you look at a card and you're like, how can I make this work? How could this work really well? And kind of help you push towards that way. And then also combos to be uncovered. It helps you build decks as well, which is really cool. So you got like Lyra Dawnbringer here. You've got a Maelstrom Pulse as well. So there's 350 plus cards to get into your collection, get it started, some basic lands, as well as some helpful guides for building decks. And then you also get some play boosters. So you get like that first hit of opening up something and being like, this is really cool. And then they're like, yeah, let's go buy more of it, essentially. So similarly, reprints within here, obviously a Gilded Lotus, you've got Darksteel Colossus, Pyromancer's Goggles, and then you've got Ball Lightning. So some of these are like, reprints that'll be within here and then within the main set too. We've also got like an example combo here for the Demonic Pact and then the Harmless Offering. So you can give the Demonic Pact over to someone and then at the end of, at the beginning of their 4th upkeep, they're going to lose the game unless they decide to lose the game earlier or they have a way to be able to remove it. Then we've got a suite of disruption cards as well. Blanking, that will teach the lesson that sometimes your plan can go a bit, all over the place. So, you've got some removal in there. You've got ways to be able to remove cards from people's hands, remove their graveyards, counter spells, that kind of thing. There's also a batch of cards that showcase what they called color hoses. So check out some like classic cards designed to make your opponents learn not to rely on one particular color. So like, you've got Flash Freeze here, which counters as specifically a red or green spell, which is hilarious. I honestly think these are the cards that you're probably going to drop pretty quickly from your deck because like they're so dependent on the person having something that you want to kind of use it against. Maybe like, my brother used one last night against me. It was like destroy monocolored. That's fine. But stuff that targets specifically certain colors is not going to be great. And I don't know, they feel kind of filler in there to me. We've also got like, stuff to help learn that adding different colors together makes some really great stuff. So like, adding red green, you've got like, different cards that will have that might not be specifically in either of those two colors. So kind of combining colors together to make a deck like, just two colors or beyond that. We've also got the temples got reprinted in here, which is great. These temples are really easy, basic learner kind of lands that have, multiple colors that you can build up with your decks and use like as the start of your land base for a deck too. And then we've got a Gigantosaurus here, which is a vanilla creature. So it doesn't actually have any abilities. So they have the ability to be able to print it as a full art. So, because it doesn't have anything that you need to remember, it's just a big thing, but big 10/10 for 5. So you get a cool kind of, I guess it's kind of like a promotional card for it. So onto the main set, they've got, a whole bunch of basics, and they've got a couple different versions of different basics throughout the set. We've also got full art lands within it, as we have in every set. And these full arts are going to be each color represented by two different ones. One that will have a Planeswalker on it, so you can see Ajani here, and then at one with a legendary creature. So you've got Giada over here, and then you've got like, Zamone and Kaito, Topless Kaito for some reason. We've got the Swamp here with Liliana, and then we've also got Tiny Bones here. And this is a new card for Tiny Bones. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from the graveyard with a stash counter on it, and then you can play those cards during your turn, and mana of any color can be used on it. And then you can pay 3 and a black to make each opponent discard a card. So it's like almost a fair Turgid. Maybe I'll turn my Turgid deck into that. And then we've got a special full art version of him as well. We've got red being represented by Chandra, and then also Kellen for some reason, which is weird. I don't know why they chose Kellen there. I guess they just wanted to include their mascot. And then green, we've got Vivian, and then we've got Loot again. I don't know why Loot, but I guess, he's their mascot now. So he's there. So as for the reprints, we've got a bunch of reprints here, some dating back all the way to like Alpha and everything, Savannah Line, Sarah, Angel, Shivan Dragon, Giant Growth, and Juggernaut. We've got some others here, Think Twice, Time Stop, and Hero's Downfall from more recent sets. And we've got a couple like, borderless versions of them. Ajani's Pridemate got a new borderless version. We've got Think Twice got a new borderless version there too. We've got Progenitus and Stormkirk Blood Thief here with some new arts. Oh, no, not new arts there. The Hidzuko Second Right got a new art. That's right. So if target player has exactly 10 life, it deals 10 damage to that player. We've also got new arts for Phyrexian Arena. So we've got this one here, and then we've got a full art version of it here. I love this. This one's really cool. And then we've got the full art versions for the different Planeswalkers that got reprinted, and then a Japanese version for Kaito. So new cards, we've got the Twin Flame Tyrant here, making it if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent they control, it deals double damage to it. That's important to kind of keep in mind later on. We've got the Twin Flame Tyrant in a full borderless version too. We've got Bloodthirsty Conqueror, essentially exquisite blood on a body here, 5 for exquisite blood with a flying death touch, and then a borderless version for that too. Herald of the Eternal Dawn, so this is a new version of Platinum Angel, except with flash and specifically white. And then we've got a borderless version of this. However, they also talk about mana foil cards, which every borderless, rare or mythic, has a version of it with a unique foiling that has all 5 mana symbols. So you can see, the different mana symbols there. Kind of like, how they had the Phyrexian ones. We've got some new cards here with Niv Mizzet Visionary, Arabo, the First Fang, and Zalashur Lich Lord. So like, new versions of older cards that we've had before. And then they all have borderless versions as well here. And then we've got Niv Mizzet here. The new Niv Mizzet essentially goes infinite with the older Niv Mizzet, because he is whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage, draw cards, and then the Niv Mizzet is whenever you draw a card, deal non-combat damage. So there's an infinite combo there. They also have some other ones here. So the Crystal Barricade is Defender. You have Hexproof, and then prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. Archmage of Ruins here. Instants and sorceries cost 1 less, and then whenever you cast one, draw a card. Sear Slicer Goblin with Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attack, create a red goblin. And then Mossborn Hydra there with Trample. Enters with a +1 on it. And then whenever a land you control enters, double the +1s on it. I need that for my my Yuma deck for sure. And then some borderless versions for those. I actually love the Sear Slice Goblin. I think that's my favorite borderless here. Although Crystal Barricade's up there too. We've got a new Refute. So this is if they took the, I think it was cancel, and then essentially they looked back at it and they're like, hey, that card didn't get much play here. Let's take that card and buff it slightly. So they put a loot effect onto it to see, I guess, if it's going to get some love now. They've also got new foundations here. I think there was like 40 something themes for this. Some anime arts are going to be within it as well. There's 51 different anime arts. There's also 27 new to Magic anime cards, all of which are legendary creatures, and then each has epic artwork by Japanese artists, and it's perfect to helm your next commander deck. So, you know, I guess this is the way they can kind of sell jump starts to commander players, because you can get some awesome stuff from it. Please note that the anime cards do not appear in the jumpstart packs in the beginner box. I guess that's because they got like pseudo jumpstart packs in it. Like they're set jumpstart packs rather than like, you know, this actual jumpstart. Calling them both jumpstart is really confusing, to be honest. So these are some of the borderless versions. We already saw those. There are 70 all up among the whole, like, you know, set. So, you know, you can see, I think Heroes Downfall is the only one that I didn't show earlier. Yeah, up here, the borderless version for it. I love the Arabo one. They're really cool. And then we've got special guests. So they showed off 2, Temporal Manipulation and Ember Cleave here. The Temporal Manipulation here is Japanese art too, which is really cool. And then Ember Cleave, really nice. We've got the Japanese showcases. So, you know, each one's going to have the normal Japanese showcase and then the foil, crackle foil. I think they call it crackle foil version of it. And then 2 that they didn't show there was Day of Judgment and then Land of War Elves, and I showed the Kaito before. So for promos, we've got Solemn Simulcarium. Someone said something about me saying it wrong before. I cannot pronounce that. Apologies. So here's the buy a box promo. And then we've got Phyrexian Arena, which is the bundle promo here. And then we've also got a Soul Ring, which is a foil etched Soul Ring. That is going to be for if you buy a play booster box or a collector booster box. Unfortunately, not for the Jumpstart booster boxes. Generally, the Jumpstart booster boxes are pretty awesome though. So I'm a bit of a shame that it's not from that. I guess, you know, you can get them from the play booster boxes though, at least. So there was something else that was revealed today, which was in the mechanics one, which is huge change to damage assignment rule changes. So damage is being changed a fair chunk. They're simplifying it down, but also in that there's going to be some big changes for it. I accidentally keep you see here when I change what I wanted to do. So at the moment, if I attack with my 5/5, you can then double block it, right? You can block it with a 3/3 and then a 4/4. So from there, I'll get to choose if I want to use my damage on the 3/3 and kill that off, or choose it on the 4/4 and kill that off. And then I can deal excess damage. Will go to the other creature, but only after that first one dies. So with this example, for example, if I have the 5/5 here, I will deal damage to this, killing that off, and then the 2 additional damage will go over to your Abdul Adrian here. So, you know, that's kind of like the damage carries over, but only after, and I can only assign that extra damage after this is killed off. But at the moment, you can also, like after I declare which one is going to be blocking first and second, you can then take your pump spell. So say you've got a Giant's Growth or whatever, use it on the thing that I am blocking first, and then it will then be, you know, say, for example, if you use a Giant's Growth on the Acclaimed Contender, it's now a 6/6. So now I will not deal any excess damage to it, right? My 5 damage is less than your 6. Essentially, it just kills my cool, and that's it. Which is a shame. However, that's going to be changing. Now, instead, the damage assignment order no longer exists. You instead just declare where the combat damage is assigned during the combat damage step. So I will declare that I am attacking with this. You declare you're blocking with these 2. And then I will be like, okay, I deal, you know, that's fine. Do you have any, you know, anything you're pumping up with it? And then I will be like, if you put a Giant's Growth onto this, now you've got a 6/6 and a 4/4. I can then say, okay, well, I'm going to deal the 4 damage to this and then the 1 to this, and then that's it. You declare where the damage is going when you deal it, basically. You no longer need to also kill something before you can assign a damage to something else. So with this example, for example, I could take, 2 damage and deal it to your acclaimed contender, and 3 damage and deal it to Abdul Adrian, therefore leaving them both on 1/1. And then I can just use an End of Festivities. Obviously, my Akul will be dead here because you've dealt, the 7 damage to it. I can use End the Festivities, deal 1 damage to both of them, and boom, they're both dead. It sounds kind of more complicated than it really is. Realistically, it's trying to simplify it by making it so that the damage is dealt when the damage is declared, like when I'm declaring which one's blocking and stuff. Declaring where the damage is dealt rather than you getting an opportunity to be able to pump stuff up. This is going to really affect like Death Touch to start off with, because if you have something that, if I have something that's like, a 2/2, or say it's a 2/7. Let's say it's a 2/7 with Death Touch, and you block it with these. I can then declare 1 damage here, 1 damage here. They both took damage from a Death Toucher. They both die. So that's pretty huge change for that. You've also got changes like, it's going to affect combat tricks a lot here. Specifically, if you're using them on defense, because if you combat trick, buff this up to a 3/3, I can just deal the 5 damage here and kill it, and then deal the 1 over to here instead. Menace is going to be fairly strong now as well, because, if I'm attacking with a Menace 5/5 and you've got a 1/1 and a 4/4 or whatever, and block, and then you're going to plan on pumping up the +1, the 1/1, then I can just declare that I'm killing the other thing. It's going to affect a lot of stuff, and it's going to take a while to get used to. Personally, I think it's a good change. I think it simplifies things a lot, but maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you guys think that there's going to be some issues with it. I think that's going to take a while to get used to, but we'll see. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like Foundations? What do you think of the combat change? I think overall Foundations looks pretty good. I don't know. I'll have to see as to how it kind of goes and everything like that. It looks decent, but I need to see like more of the full set to see how well it's going to go for, more veteran players and stuff. And personally, I'm a pretty big fan of like this combat damage change. I think it's going to be decent. I think that it kind of takes away some of the more complex stuff from it, but also, leave some of the more complex stuff for, adds complexity in different ways. So I don't think it like dumbs it down too much. I think it's going to be better, but we'll see. That's it for today. Have a great day and goodbye.